All right, welcome back to our weekly transits. We're going to do a little looky-see at something else here. I've got Solar System Scope, and this is a really cool app for looking at the solar system. And I want to point out a few things that are really important. The first thing that should get your attention is this lineup here that we're looking at. We just passed with all this perfect conjunctions we've been talking about. We had the Earth here, the Sun, and then behind the Sun, we had that conjunction of Venus and Mars, and you can see that they're pretty close, right? And then Mercury here as well. So let me give you some other views. So from here, you can see, and when we go back to the chart, you remember that those are all in late degrees of Capricorn. So let's look at it this way. And you can see if we go this way with it, how close they all are. See, last week, Venus and Mars were actually together. Venus has got the faster orbit, so it has gone ahead. And then Mercury is now getting close to making its conjunction there. So I'll spin this around. You can see them a little bit better. See Mercury right here. Venus has already passed. Now, we're at the degrees where Venus is now at 4 degrees of Aquarius, and Mercury and the Sun are at 0 Aquarius. So we kind of turn it around here. And then Mars, we're still hanging out back in Capricorn. You can see that's a little bit back this way, right? It's back to, it'll be our right, camera right, or stage right, however you want to say it. And you can see, the Sun, Venus is past it, and Mercury here right behind the Sun. Right there. Okay, this is called a superior conjunction. I didn't want to do that. I'm still learning this app. I really don't want all of this on here. I wanted to show you. Oh my goodness. Oh golly. I just want to show you this lineup. So here, hold on a second. Let me see if I can get this back here. Okay, I think I got us back. I got to realize this is new. I just started to work with it. When you click actually on the planet, it will bring it up. So I don't want to do that. I just want to show you these things. And this is just absolutely fascinating. You can see the asteroid belt. You can see more of the asteroids around. But just a couple of things I want to point out here is this big alignment. You can see how it's all lined up. Look at right there. I mean, that is just amazing. And so we have Earth, we have all of that lined up, and then Pluto, you'll see, is in the is in the mix too. But if we look at it straight on, you can see Pluto's a little bit more to, let's say, our left. It would be into the new sign. It's 3 degrees Aquarius, where these other planets are still, those interior planets are still, well, actually, Mars is the only one holding out in Capricorn. So everything has moved into Aquarius today. Now, I want to just show you a couple of other things. So all of this here was last week, let's get you this way, was opposite Jupiter. I want you to see some of these things. So you can see if we turn around, like if we were on Earth, we were to turn, you can see Jupiter is on the same side of Earth, of this, or I should say, same side of, how can I even say it? Earth and Jupiter are on one side of the sun. Okay, there we go. And Mercury, Venus, and Mars are on the other side of the sun. Now, based on kind of how you have this, it was in a perfect alignment. Now things are shifting a little bit. But you can see where these planets, Venus, Mars, Mercury, were opposite Jupiter last week when they were traveling those last, the end part of Capricorn. All right, not going to get into that part. I just want you to see how these things line up now. 3i Atlas is coming in over here. Maybe if I learn to work this better, I'll show it to you next week. But it's that interstellar object that's moving super fast is coming in right like over here. So it is in this mix, and it's on the same plane. What do I mean by plane? It's on this ecliptic. This is called ecliptic because you can see everything is lining up along here. See? This is called the ecliptic. So if you look at where the sun is rising from Earth, like if you're on Earth here and you look towards sun, it'll be on this plane and it will go a certain trajectory, and it will change for the seasons. In the northern hemisphere, in the winter, the sun rises more toward the south and it sets more in the south. And in the summer, it goes lower on the horizon. And in the summer, it rises more toward the north and it goes higher and it sets more toward the north. I'll show you that another time. But anyway, this is on that plane. So if you go out and you look where the moon or the sun or the planets rise and set, it is on like this line. It's called the ecliptic. All right, another thing I want to show you is this conjunction that everybody's talking about, and we're coming into on like February 19th, and it is right here, Saturn and Neptune. All right, what's the big deal about this? Okay, Neptune, you know, all these planets have this certain rotation around the sun. So Neptune takes, so I don't want to click on that. Neptune takes 165 years to go all the way around the sun. It's like it's got to go all the way around here, right? Okay, Saturn is about 29 years around the sun, and they meet up. They're like, think about it's a track runners. Okay, you've got a real slow person and a real fast person. So the slow person, you know, is just real slow. They might be walking, okay, and then the fast person might be running. So Saturn is the faster planet. It's closer to the sun, so it's going to go faster. Planets that are further away from the sun will go slower. So Saturn again is like about every 29 years, and Neptune is about 165 years. So they will meet up about every 30, well, I think it's like every 36 years, or 36, 38, something like that. So that's predictable, and they will be in a certain place. Okay, so, all right, so we can go back and we can look at the past times, all the other times that Saturn and Neptune met up. What do I meet up? When they're conjunct, they're together. They're like, they're about, one of them's about ready to lap the other one, okay? Or they lined up, they're conjunct. We're going to call it by its name. So when it's conjunct, but what makes this one really unique, you know, and they conjunct in different signs at different places. You know, we can go back years and years. I believe on the astrology podcast, Chris Brennan and his friend did a great deep dive on this cycle. And they went back through a lot of the Saturn-Neptune cycles when they met up. And they also talked about when they met up in Aries. But what's so special, so unique about this one right now is that they are meeting at 0 degrees Aries, and they have not met up at that 0 degree spot. That is like the beginning of the zodiac. That is like the first of, you know, in astronomy and astrology, that's where it begins. 0 degrees Aries is where it starts. That's the first, like the vernal equinox. That's when the days start getting longer in the northern hemisphere. That 0 degrees, that is the start point. Okay, the last time that it was there that we are able to calculate was 4361 BC. It's like what, 6,000, 6,500 years ago or something like that. And we have no idea what was going on at that time. You know, I mean, we look at astrological records, we look at historic records to see these cycles. You can look back at these cycles and see the same types of events that happen. But this one, we don't know. I mean, we can see that other times that Neptune and Saturn met up, and we can see other times that Neptune and Saturn met up in Aries, but not at the 0 degrees. That's like the start. That is like unprecedented. So very interesting. And then I will show you on the update. What's interesting is like next month when we actually get there, the moon will go through first, and it's funny, the moon will be at the end of Pisces. This is very interesting because these two planets are at the end of Pisces. This is the end of a certain era. We are moving into a time that we don't know. This is thrilling, fascinating, scary, all of that. This is, you know, we're in uncharted territory. And it's a little bit sad too, because I mean, Neptune is one moving out of the sign that it's, you know, that it rules. It's moving out of Pisces, and Saturn, you know, it's been there like the last 14 years, and then Saturn has been there for like the last 2.5 years since spring 2023. So it's kind of like this dream has been baked. This, you know, we're awakening to we're waking up. We're waking up to some reality, but it's still going to be foggy and a lot of illusion and um, interesting times. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of that right now in this video, but I just wanted you to see this lineup in space. And what happens is really cool, and I'll show you on the other charts. The sun will go over that, and we'll see it next month. It'll go past, and it's this right now. I'm sorry, the moon. The moon right now is going to go, into Pisces, or and then this is the last time the moon will line up with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces. Next month, it will they will already have Saturn and Neptune will have already switched and moved into Aries, and then the moon will go. So it's really interesting that we have this kind of energies. But anyway, I wanted you to see this, and this is how it is. So you can see that this, from our perspective, that how they're lined up when we say they're conjunct or they're lined up. So from Earth's perspective, I'm trying to line it up for you here. They will be. This isn't the best lineup here either. They will be. You'll be able to see both of those conjunct from our perspective. So that's that. Other things that are happening, we have all over here. There's Uranus is going to change signs. Pluto's already changed signs. Again, Saturn and Neptune will change signs, and the inner planets always are changing signs, but all of the outer planets will have changed signs in their orbit around the sun. Okay, so this is really cool. This is some really interesting times that we're in, unprecedented. And you can see, this astral dance fascinating when we look at things like this. And we can see the fixed stars and the stars behind these areas. All right, that is a little bit of the astronomy to astrology. Hope you enjoyed that. More on the next video. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.